So there's two big things to talk about here, and that's the one big one is nest success is first, right? We got to get that hen to survive with that clutch of eggs and crank those poults out. And then usually the first 2 weeks after that poult is hatched out is the most critical time. That's when most of your poults die because they can't fly yet. They're trying to kind of work those wings. They're trying to strengthen up. And mama's trying to show them how to get up on a tree. And so after about 2 weeks, these birds can start flying and basically get off the ground at night. Nighttime is a really bad time for birds. Number one, there's a lot of birds on the ground. They put a lot of scent down. And so anything with a nose is tracking birds down. They're not specifically looking for them, but as these predators are hitting their home ranges, they smell them out. And with moisture, moisture holds scent. For folks out there that use bird dogs, you don't like to hunt on days when it's really dry because you know what? There's no scent out there. But when there's a little bit of moisture in the morning, man, your dogs work beautifully. They're on point and things are great. Same things go for turkey. So predators really sniff them out well. And even though hens can fight back some predators pretty well, but they can't fight them all back. And so there's been a lot of things, shaking out on media. I shared something the other day on a fox running in on a nesting hen, and just a gray fox killed her in about 30 seconds. And so didn't really hit the clutch of eggs, but just killed the hen. And I'm sure something will scavenge the eggs, but the eggs won't be viable after the hen's gone. So there's just a lot of issues, but we're seeing some marked decline in some areas, and we know that predators are just a part of the mix. And some of it is poor habitat, honestly. And so if you have quality habitat in place, your predation should go down. And so there's a whole slew of predators that are targeting turkeys, much as many other species, but quality habitat is kind of the foundation. And then there's next level things you can do to really help bump the bird number. So what are we seeing on a national scale? I mean, it is across the board. We probably have more decline than we do growth. In some states, the far western states, we saw Washington, Oregon, maybe California. Some of those states are in a stable mode right now, which is good. It's fantastic. We see states like Texas, Oklahoma, even had some concerns in Wyoming, especially in the Black Hills with too much pressure. And they're actually seeing twice as many hunters there as non-residents than they do residents. And that's never happened. And so some of these places are getting hit with too much pressure, maybe harvest, which could be an issue. Down here in the deep South, we're seeing some numbers not as good. Here in Kentucky, we just had another really great harvest year. But it also followed up a few years ago when we had a big cicada hatch. And so I think that has something to do with those numbers being much higher. And then we had a very, very, very warm winter, which helps with overwinter survival. And so when you start putting some of these things together, it can really help populations. And then other things can really help push them downward. So a ton of things going on. There's a ton of regulation changes and thoughts. It's all over the board. We have another big meeting coming up right around the corner. It's the Southeastern Wild Turkey Working Group meeting for all the Southeastern states. It's going to be in Virginia next month in June. And so when that thing rolls out, it's basically all the state agencies are coming together, nonprofits like Turkeys for Tomorrow, and additionally others in the research arena. They all come, share some knowledge together, and we really kind of come away with like a strategy or approach of things to do the next year. So a lot shaking in the turkey arena right now.
You brought up predators there, and is there, and it's always going to be a wide range given the area, given the geography, but are there any kind of like primary culprits that you're looking at as far as like the growth of this one species, or is it just in general? And what would you associate that with as far as their impact with turkeys? Is it the protective measures that have been put on predators over the years, or is it habitat? What kind of speaks to that?
Man, this is a big old onion. We'll dissect a little bit of it, man. Let me peel a layer back real quick. So number one, there are predators that really focus on nesting birds because of scent, etc., and then also the eggs. And so it's pretty cool. Dr. Brett Collier at LSU has a lot of different pictures, videos of even hens sitting on a nest, and they've had a fox come in and pulling out eggs underneath the hen. I mean, literally, and the fox never attacked the hen, which is crazy because usually that's what would happen. Foxes and bobcats are the most efficient bird predators in general out there. Okay. Coyotes will pick off some as well, but they're not really as honed in on birds as is a bobcat or a fox. And so those are key. But when they're sitting on the nest, even a rat snake, we've seen that rat snakes are one of the biggest culprits for going in and eating eggs. And there's even videos out there where these rat snakes have snuck in underneath the hen and they're just sucking eggs one after another. And the hen just sits there trying to keep the rest of them together. Raccoons tend to come in and scavenge. We've got videos of multiple raccoons coming in and really attacking and coming day after day and just continuing to pluck eggs. Oftentimes, raccoons will come in after the fact. Maybe a bird gets bumped off her nest. Okay. Hens, for whatever reason, if they feel that predator threat is high, and if they might get bumped a couple of times off their nest, they may completely leave it, disband it. And so then you have other, what I'd say, scavengers come in and start pulling eggs. We've seen crows come in. A hen leaves the nest, a crow sees from visibility from above, comes down and hits the nest, which is something else. We've got a lot of pictures of multiple mammal species carrying eggs off from a nest as they find it. I mean, you and I don't know about you, man, but I eat eggs all the time. I mean, almost every day. And so if I come across some juicy eggs, man, I'll some predator and go, man, these are big. I may have to take one or two. And so it's just one of those things. And so I think a lot of them get picked off. But when these hens are on this nest for a good month, they're putting a lot of scent down. So as these predators are coming by and working areas, they're picking them up with their nose. They target them. A lot of times they kill the hen. That's when most of our hens die, is on the nest. So there's really collectively about a 45-day window where we see the highest mortality of turkeys in general. Okay, so you got a hen that's nesting, and then she's dumping out poults up to the first 2 weeks, and she's staying with them on the ground until they can fly. And so that 45 to 60-day window, okay, roughly, is the most critical time for turkeys throughout the year. And we're in it right now. Most everywhere that you go across the nation, hens have starting putting nests down as soon as March. And we're seeing, poults being cranked out now. And then as you move further north, further into the Northwest, it's a little bit later. But you see nests that are active right now, and poults that are already on the ground. We've got a lot of videos and pictures over the last 3 weeks of poults hitting the ground across the country.